Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish.
Well, hi there.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Joey, how are you this morning?
Oh, good.
You got to bed after the New Year. You saw the New Year's in.
Well, I did because I was not on YouTube, but I was just, doing things because I was like, if I get on YouTube, I won't get anything done.
Right.
So
well, so did you get
to
anything done?
Yeah, I mean, just water changes, But it's like, but I used to do water changes late at night, into the early hours of the morning, and I don't do as much of that anymore. But I knew better than to get on, and then of course you get up and everybody talks about all the fun things that happened last night. And I'm like,
oh, I know.
Missed it.
Well, I went to bed about 11:30, I think.
Yeah. Well, I went to bed later than that, but I stayed off of YouTube, so I missed it.
There are lots of fireworks here in Florida.
Oh, I know.
Fireworks are legal, so lots
here.
of people are.
But I live far enough out that there wouldn't be as much in this area as probably.
Oh, they are legal in Maine? Yeah.
Yeah, they are now. They didn't used to be. We used to have to buy them out of state, and light them off and hope you didn't get caught.
Right.
So anyway.
Mary is here.
Oh, hello, Mary.
Yes. Hi, Mary.
Hey, guys.
How are you this morning?
Hey, Mary.
Hanging in there. Sore from laughing.
So what time did you get to bed, Mary?
Pretty much right after your stream. I watched a little bit of Danikin and Fish Room Fever and Ed.
Right.
And then I went out.
I said hello. Made reference to the Booty Boys since that was the Booty Boy reunion. That was fun.
Well, you guys were better than me because I didn't even do that.
Yeah, I didn't watch the 12 o'clock hour roll in.
Right. I did.
No, I did not actually.
Oh, sorry, my volume's on. Oops.
Somebody's got their YouTube.
It's me. Okay, I got it. It's me.
So, Mary's setting up a tank for Morgan.
Yeah, she kept saying that.
Yeah, I got your message this morning.
Okay.
I will send you some stuff on. I'm gonna try to get it out tomorrow, since you're. I don't know how long it'll take to get to you. I'll probably ship UPS. I'm not going to ship postal service. They're completely worthless.
You just let me know. Like I said, if I'm going to buy stuff, I might as well buy it from you.
Well, I'm going to make it a gift. It'll be a gift for Morgan. So I'll get some filter and some plants. Not a big deal.
Right.
We can do that. You betcha.
Hello, Rohit from India.
Sorry.
Karen Naresh. And Sarma. Hi, Sarma. Who is Sarma?
That's a new one from
That's
India.
New one. Yeah,
I didn't see. Emily. Hi, Emily.
Brienne, good morning.
Yeah, I didn't say all
Rohit
my
Sharma
individual
there.
hellos.
Rohit Sharma in India.
Mm.
So we have 2 people from India with us this morning.
That's amazing.
Nice. Really nice.
Tisha from wherever she's from, Denmark, Sweden, all
Netherlands.
somewhere up there.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Tisha? I've lost track.
I think Netherlands. I'm not sure, but that's what I think it is.
She's from somewhere else.
The guppies.
Our memories are not there. Yeah.
No.
Oh. So,
My eyes are blurry this morning.
my eyes are watery for some reason.
George Trotter. Hello, George
Yeah.
Trotter. Let's see. Let me get over here
Well,
to.
good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. And
Yes, Happy New
I
Year.
promise you could put your questions in this morning.
Really. We did have a good time last night. That was
we
fun.
did. We had a lot of
That
fun.
was fun.
And we saw a lot of really great fish runs and tanks. That was
Oh, I
a
guess.
treat.
Oh,
You know?
didn't we?
Yeah, that was pretty
Really did.
impressive. What was your favorite?
I
You-
like Rohan or Roman.
Romans.
had some nice stuff.
A
Yeah.
lot of really sophisticated tanks there. What was
Oh,
yours?
everybody.
The one that just really caught my eye and just stuck with me was George's aqua balls. That
Oh gosh,
that
yeah.
bow front, that 100 with all those fish swimming. It just, and it wasn't
Beautiful.
about. I couldn't even tell you how it was
Yeah.
aquascape. It was just
Yeah.
the fish that
Yeah.
Yeah.
the combination impressed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
They were
favorites.
all
They were
wonderful.
all great. Right.
Yeah, they really
Yeah.
were.
It's
But that
amazing.
one just sticks in my head.
The
Oh,
mud
that's pretty
skipper
cool.
one blew me out.
Oh, I love the mud skippers.
They were impressive. Yeah.
That was
George was.
the setup. The setup was just magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was.
Let's see.
Lee is here.
Hi, Lee.
Nice. Hi, Lee. Hope everything's going well today.
Lee's asking about
Or I
the
guess
top
it's evening.
3. I should be able to go back. Glass box.
Oh yeah,
Glass
glass box pops.
D3V gold. Glass box silver. And Roman Chirac third. What is that? Brass, copper? What is it? Something.
Bronze, right?
Bronze,
Yeah,
right.
bronze.
Bronze.
Oh my gosh,
So,
The bronze
D3
medal.
for the gold, glass box for the silver, and Roman for the bronze.
Very nice.
Good job, you guys.
Fun.
phone has quit.
And somebody loves Canada, CPC. My.
Nice.
Patrick's and Honey GRB. Honey GRB.
Well, Happy New Year. It's an abbreviation.
Oh, happy day. Oh, good.
I was trying for that, but I
How
guess
did
it's
I?
not working.
How did I miss that?
I was like, I gotta speed this up. Typing out Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
So
really.
anyway, that's what that means, everyone. Happy New Year.
I love it. Tisha, how can I create more green algae from a nearite?
Ooh, leave your light on and feed too much, right?
Well, gee whiz. He will find other things to eat. You don't need to worry about it. Put some lettuce in there or any kind of green, any kind of vegetable.
Spinach.
Potato is good. What's really good is abba-dabba-dabba-doo with cucumber, squash.
And
What am I
spinach.
thinking?
They love
No.
spinach and what is it?
Cucumber, squash. What's the other one?
Romaine lettuce.
Or no. It's like
Zucchini.
a zucchini.
Oh, zucchini. Yes.
Zucchini, right.
These dogs are going wild. Hang on. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, they're perfect. And they'll do real well on that. You don't need to get more algae. Now you can buy algae. You can buy sheets of algae, or if you go to a health food store, it's a lot cheaper than buying at from a pet shop. Health food store, you buy the sheets of dried algae. What's that called? There's a word for that
I
stuff.
don't know. Oh,
Not the seaweed, but kelp.
The
No, not
seaweed.
kelp.
yeah, it
The
is seaweed. Yeah,
Japanese dried seaweed,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, guys.
whatever that's called.
Like you
Anyway,
wrap
that's
sushi in.
perfect. Yeah, that's perfect, and you can get it really cheaply at any health food store or in the Chinese section in your grocery store.
All right, Father Fish. Thanks, because now everybody thinks I'm calling him honey. Thanks.
I know. I know.
It's your
Oh.
fault.
I know. I did it deliberately.
I bet you did.
I
Hey,
did.
what kind of grandparents bring kids back at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Bring kids
Bring them
what?
back at 9 o'clock.
The other
Sounds
grandparents.
like you've gone mad
Sorry,
over
guys.
there. Mercy.
I don't know. What did she say? What kind of grandparent does what? I didn't hear it.
It's the other grandparents. They went over to the other grandma's for a New
Yeah.
Year's party, and I guess she couldn't handle them, so she brought them back at 9 o'clock this morning. Yeah, they just
Oh.
walked in the door, like they won't
Gotcha.
leave my house. They don't leave my
Yeah,
house.
Sharpie is suggesting pretty much anything you would feed bristlenose. Right, that's true.
True.
Right. Algae wafers. Sharpie's saying he doesn't feed his narrates. You really don't need to. They eat waste. They'll eat anything. They're real garbage. A garbage disposal unit. They're really a great snail, and of course they won't take over and create a multitude.
Oh, this isn't working. All right. I was trying to change my abbreviation. Is that hat trick?
What?
She's holding up the puppy. I'm like, is that hat trick?
Yes, look at his little ear flip back.
Yeah.
I see
He
it.
is such
Yeah.
a stinker. He is sassy.
He looks sassy.
What are you doing this morning?
I was trying to change my abbreviation. It's just not working. That's what everybody's getting. Honey, whatever.
Me too, David.
Oh. Happy New Year, Roger Salmon. Roger Salmon. 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 Salmon.
Salmon. Salmon.
Rohan,
Roger
is it the competition from Aquatic? What is he talking about? What's
I don't know.
Rohan talking about? I don't know. We kind of lost track of that. The Aquatic Conquest contest.
Yeah, we did.
Well, it was not anybody's fault.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, the Aquatic Conquest got right down to the last day, and his computer crashed, and everything went away. Lost it all. In
Oh,
fact,
man.
he's apparently still offline.
Isn't that-
Loads months later, we've not heard back, and I wish to hear back from him.
Right.
sure
Even
did.
that one day. And then
Yeah,
Right.
it's gone again.
Aquatic Conquest is such a joy, and what he was doing for us was so incredible.
It sure was.
It's a real loss. I'd like to know more about what his situation is to see if there's some way we can be helpful.
So, J.R. Patter, who has been here a few times and could use a wrench, but must know you pretty well because they're asking if what time the restaurant across the street opens. I mean, it's important.
Yeah.
They want to know.
Around 11 o'clock. I'm looking for.
You
Oh,
look
Jay Patter.
Yeah.
Jared Patter.
Yeah. So they could use a wrench, but
When does the restaurant
when does the restaurant
across the
open?
street? Hi, Betsy.
Hi, Betsy.
Hi, Betsy.
Yeah, around 11 o'clock, I think.
Around 11. There you go.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, that's not national or natural Aquarius. Did you see that one at 9:14?
I
All
did,
the
but I
fish.
think he needs to
Yeah.
read it because I was like, I'll
Yes.
confuse him. He needs to
Yeah.
read
At
that
9.
himself.
Aquatic resolution
9:14.
for 2021 is to set up a Florida biotype with some of your Florida natives available on Get Gills. Also, pygmy suns might need help with plants too. Love to do that. Right now, I'm not even going to try to ship fish. It's hopeless. The last 5 batches of fish I shipped, 4 of them came in DOA, and one of them never arrived. Only had 1 out of 5 batches that actually arrived alive. Um, Part of the problem is the Postal Service has decided to become completely derelict. So they're becoming utterly worthless shipper for uh, anything that can be ruined by being in the box too long. FedEx is profoundly expensive, and they don't like
Hmm.
to take fish, so you have to lie about that to them. Which leaves UPS and what's the other one? The yellow one, whatever that's
Well,
called. I can't
UPS,
remember.
FedEx.
That's the other one. There's a third. The yellow
Is it DHL or D?
DHL. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, which is probably pretty good. And a
Well,
UPS is not bad. I've used them.
I've had.
They're at least relatively dependable.
I was gonna say my last, all my fish orders that I've done in the past, I guess since the virus started, um, I've gotten FedEx or UPS and they come overnight. I've had zero problem. My fish are here the next day. You pay
Well,
for it. I mean,
yeah,
you
I
pay for it.
understand.
It's
The problem
$50 and up.
is, yeah, the
Yeah,
problem is when you're shipping $25
I
worth
get
of
it.
fish, it's not worth spending $75 to ship them.
I
That's
get
the
it.
problem.
But I
I mean,
guess
if it were
that's,
$100 worth of fish, it probably would be worth it to get them there overnight.
you know what?
And
That's
what?
why I order a lot of fish and I make it worth my shipping.
Yeah, right. Oh, I know.
How I do it.
I know. I know.
If I'm going to pay that much for shipping, I fill the box.
I know.
But I get what you're saying. You know.
Right. Anyway, natural aquarist firelight. That's a great idea. Where are you located? What state are you in, or country, or planet, or whatever?
Good question. Uh,
On
J.R. Penn is
OTV.
commenting on the local biotech.
J.R. Patter, you just earned a wrench.
Mm-hmm. Because obviously they're right there in Florida with you, clearly. They're talking about the Florida fish. I'm assuming you know who this is. You don't have to.
Minnesota. Minnesota. Well, it's going to be impossible to ship this winter. I'm not going to try to do anything until March with fish. I can do plants. I'm not going to try to do fish. If it's southern hemisphere, like no further north than Virginia or North Carolina, I might consider it. But I've just had too many bad experiences trying to ship in the winter. And I package pretty heavily. I've got special thermal boxes, heat packs, um, yeah, added insulation. But if it takes 5 days to get there, there isn't a lot of hope.
Right. Everybody's talking about their shipping nightmares. My sister's talking about hers, which I'm aware of. Mainly Betta's is talking about their shipping nightmare. It's like these
Really,
boxes that sit everywhere because they just go in there and they sit in the back. They don't do anything with, and Mary's gone. I
we
just looked up
lost
and Mary's
Mary
gone.
again. That's why I got quiet. We lost Mary again.
Yeah, it's like I'm looking at my chat and then I look up and I'm like, oops, no Mary.
I know.
So yeah, I mean, I think everybody's had at least one experience. Mine's been more not with the fish; it's just been with stuff. There's been a few things that it's taken like 3 weeks to get, which seems ridiculous.
Oh, right. Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
And even regular mail. I sent my sister something. She lives in upstate New York. I don't know. It took a week and a half, 2 weeks to get there. I mean, it wasn't a package. It was just a letter. Throw it in the mail. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's the nature of our corrupted bureaucracies, along with corrupted everything else.
Well,
GRB, I have a Florida fagfish tank, 3 foot with thick Java moss. Tank is doing some amazing fish. Yeah, that's the nice thing about the Florida natives. They can handle water down into the 40s. As a Florida native, that not for long periods of time, but if you can keep them in the house or in a garage or anywhere where the water's not going to freeze and it's going to be warm much of the time, they'll be just fine. They could stay at 60 all winter and be perfectly happy.
You have a new person in here at 9:21. Frag Incorporated. They just have a nice comment for you.
Incorporated.
Yep, nice comment for you.
If I wasn't for you, I'd still be stuck with just rocks in my tank. I hear you, Frag Incorporated.
Yeah.
Frag Incorporated sounds like a saltwater hobbyist
Fish keeper. Yeah.
doing frags. Yeah, nice. Thank you, Frag.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I'm looking for questions.
Oh, natural. Yeah,
Well, even Alshon is saying, yes, credit card and utility bills are arriving 2 weeks late. So yeah, I mean, it's messing up everything. And you send out your payment and they're not getting it in time.
Right. James Handy's talking about using additives to raise the KH. Yeah, I use when I need to do it. I simply use I buy a 1 pound container of calcium, the calcium booster, which has carbonates in it, and that works pretty well. It'll hold it up. The trick is to get it up and hold it up. But you can use baking soda that'll get it up, but that doesn't have a lot of KH in it, so you wind up with a sine curve. Generally, for most people, a water change is the key if you've got hard water.
Right.
Yeah, mainly he's talking about reshipping problems.
Well, my sister was saying they had 400% more, items this year with a skeleton crew, and that's their nightmare. And I'm sure it is. On their end, I'm sure it's not fun either. Because they got to be getting complaints all day long.
Well, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm really not interested in the excuses. I'm really not. I mean, I shipped out a box of fish marked, whatever the word is,
live fish.
one marked fish.
Yeah.
It was it was marked perishable.
Right.
Took them to the post office, shipped it out, priority, second day. Now, understand they don't guarantee second day.
Right.
1 week later, we checked on it and it was still sitting at the depot. It had not left the depot.
And that's the problem. Yeah.
That's dereliction. There's no excuse for that.
And I don't know in the end when you get in those centers who's in charge of what. You know what I mean? I have no idea how that works. Once you drop your package off, I have no idea about the process.
Yeah, I mean, I get it that COVID's a problem, but there are a lot of people looking for jobs, a lot of people out of work. They have an unlimited budget. They can hire as many people as they want to. It's really no excuse. They always hire part-time people anyway.
Well, most of those places do because they don't want to pay any benefits, so they keep people on part-time.
Well, I understand that, but they didn't do that. They deliberately allowed service to disintegrate in order to make the president look bad. And that's all in the world it was.
There could be that.
That's the bottom line.
Well,
and it stinks. It absolutely stinks.
There's lots of things that have fallen apart and are out of our control. So, James has a question.
Yes.
He says, why have nearite snails been unavailable for such a long time?
Really good question.
Yeah.
And well, it's because they have to be wild collected. They're not raised by the farmers.
True.
Which means somebody's got to be out there mucking around in the creeks looking for them. And they're not always that easy to find. I mean, I get when Frank is around, which he's not now, didn't go to be for a long time, I'm afraid. He knew where to go and where to find them, and he would bring in 1,000 at a time, and that 1,000 would last me 6 months. He did that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But he had to collect them, and frankly, I don't know where to go to collect them. I mean, I guess I could find out, but he was the master collector. But that's why they have to be wild caught, and they're caught in brackish water. They're not caught in fresh water. So you gotta get into brackish creeks.
And
then you have to find a population of them. And it's only once in a while do you run into a lot of them. Usually it's onesie-twosie, which makes it really not worthwhile even bothering with them. Because, you might see 100 in a day, unless you're lucky enough to run across a huge swarm, a population of them, which itself is remarkable and unusual. The nearite snail it's an old snail. That is to say, it lives for many, many years. It's like the rabbit snail. The rabbit snail, by the time we get them, and there are some people who are apparently breeding them, but they're very slow growing. I've got some 1-inchers that are 2 or 3 years old. It takes 5 to 10 years for that snail to get 3 to 4 inches. The nearite is kind of the same. It takes years for them to get the size of a marble. They grow very slowly.
It does. Yeah.
So it's simply not anything that people have fooled with. I and others have been promoting them because we've had them, and that's caused more people to look for them and to find them and get them into the hobby. But the big houses don't carry them. It's just not worth their while to carry them. They don't have anybody that's out collecting them. And the other issue is there are permits required in order to collect anything from the wild for resale. You can collect it if you're not selling it. If you're selling it, you need a collector's permit. And then you need, if you're going to sell it to a wholesaler or a jobber, as a collector, you can do that. But if you're going to sell it to, for example, a shop, a fish store, then you need a wholesaler's permit in order to sell a wholesale item to a fish store. So then you need 2 permits, and it gets to be more trouble than it's worth.
And the money for the permits.
And the money,
Compared to
yeah,
what you're
it's
making.
$100 a pop, right?
Yeah.
Plus the hassle of having to report. And here's the other thing: you have to file a monthly report of every single item you collect. Those are called triptychs, and you've got to fill that out and send it in every single month, month after month after month. If you don't do that, you lose your permit. And if you don't do a certain limit, you lose your permit. So the state does not, this is Florida I'm talking about. The state does not allow you to get a collector's permit for occasional use. It has to be something you are using routinely. Now, to make it even more complicated, if you're collecting saltwater ornamentals, you can't, because they're not giving them out. So if you want a permit to do that, you have to buy it from someone who already has one that is transferable, and not all of them are. And you pay $50,000 to $100,000 for that permit. So it's all tied up pretty tightly by the state in terms of what's required to really be able to do this. So I get nearites. I get nearites as a shop owner directly. I collect them personally.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I collect them generally in small enough numbers. Nearites specifically are not a permitted item, as are not any of the freshwater fish. So there are no regulations governing freshwater ornamentals, snails, hermit crabs, shrimp, that sort of thing.
Oh,
So it's kind of, those are kind of a non-issue. The only thing they're really concerned about is either abuse or ornamentals, the saltwater ornamentals, corals, coral reef fish, those sorts of things.
My sister left a comment for you at 9:23 to Sheeta Heaven. It's just a nice comment. Thought you might want to read it.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Okay, Father Fish. I FaceTimed with Desmond yesterday, which is her grandson, and he was lit up like a Christmas tree. So excited about being recognized by you and your advice about bearded dragons. You have a 9-year-old fan.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah,
that's fun.
You did that little segment for him. And
that's fun. Yes, I remember.
Loved it.
Very good.
He's been in a couple times since.
Right.
I don't think he's in here today.
Well, it's such a big deal having kids in here.
It is.
It really is.
And there's another example of why we try to be careful, because there are kids.
Well, that's exactly right. You know, we do have children in. We have children in here every day.
Yeah.
So if I seem a little harsh sometimes, or a little blue nose, yeah, that's why. Because I want to be able to keep. I want to be able to keep children and families in here.
Absolutely. They're they're the next generation, so we need to.
You bet.
We need to help them and encourage them, keep them excited about whatever it is. Bearded dragons or fish tanks, whatever.
Right.
Birds.
Yeah, Lee's asking about the plecos. Can assume the black and albino will breed. Yes, of course they will. Absolutely.
You've got another question at 9:27 from Hillbilly Nomad, and you should read it because it's, so that you get what they're asking.
9:27, but Hillbilly Nomad.
Yeah.
Chasing water parameters. Honest question. Father, do you think chasing WP in the long run is safe for the aquarium's overall health, or is buying locally bred fish or acclimated fish to your water beds? Well, you kind of answered the question. Um, Obviously, if you're now there, okay, there are two ways to do this. For the average, fish keeper, um, you don't want to constantly be changing your pH or your other water parameters because, frankly, you're not going to be able to do it. You will wind up with things going haywire at some point, and it just, while it may not hurt the fish, it's hardly worth the effort. Most of the hobbyists I've known, the serious hobbyists who've been around for years and years, take the position the fish has to be able to live in my water, whatever my water is. And that greatly simplifies matters. Now, there are exceptions to this. We have hobbyists here with us who maintain a few tanks and treat their water routinely in order to achieve very specific parameters. In order to be able to breed discus, for example, or bettas, or whatever. That's a different matter. If you're doing this as a genuine discipline, where you are monitoring and dosing with a scale on a routine basis, and you know what you're doing, and you can maintain an absolute constancy, then by all means. I mean, you've achieved what very few hobbyists are able or even interested in achieving. If you're an average hobbyist, like me, I'm just an average hobbyist. Sound like Mary. I don't know nothing.
It's like me too.
Really
Just,
true. You know, I don't try to do. The only thing I will do is I have an RO system, and there are some fish I will keep in RO water or RO water with a little bit of hardness in it, simply to make it easier on fish that prefer to be in very soft acid water. I don't keep many fish like that, hardly any really. And right now, I don't really think I have any. And everything I've got is in hard alkaline water. I had my bettas in softer water, but it started getting cold, so we moved them over to a heated system, and they're now in hard alkaline water, and they're doing fine. They're very happy with it. Um, so yeah, it's not something I track personally, unless I have a very good reason to do it. I occasionally try chocolate gouramis or some of the other licorice gouramis, some of the other fish that require a very, very soft acid water. And in those cases, I will try to match conditions. Those are wild caught fish from Borneo that are coming out of pH 3 to 5. You can't keep them in hard alkaline water. They won't survive more than days or a week. But those are rare exceptions, and they're not anything that the average hobbyist is likely to run into. Uh, in the main, the principle is the fish needs to live in your water. So if you're getting fish from a local shop, and I would recommend you do that. I would recommend you work with one specific shop and don't mix it up. Don't run around to 15 places and buy from 15 places. Everybody, all of the shops buy from the same wholesalers. Don't let them try to convince you otherwise. They don't. They buy from the same wholesalers. There are very few wholesalers. All of the wholesalers buy from the same jobbers and the same importers, or the same exporters for that matter. So they've all got the same fish with rare exception. And if they don't have it, they can get it. So, you can deal with one shop. And if they're open minded and willing to bring stuff in that you would like, work with that shop. It's going to mean more to them and more to you to have that kind of working relationship. And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay. So there we need to find.
I don't even know if I answered the question. I got off on such a sidetrack there.
Well, I think the overall question was the water parameters and.
Master Black sold all of his rabbit snails. They were eating the plants. Did they spawn for you, Master Black? Did they breed for you at all? J.R. Patter had 3 spots. Nice. Yeah, absolutely, JR. Happy to do that. Mary is hitting 500.
So I'm just going to answer Lumpy Dog's question. Probably the largest one in there for the body is 6 to 7 inches, and then they all are, various sizes under that.
What are you talking about?
They were asking me how big the goldfish were in the tank behind me.
Oh, whoa.
They look pretty big. And I said the largest one, the body length is probably 6, 7 inches, and then they all, vary in size after that. And are smaller.
GRB, the neurites will do fine in fresh water. They simply they will spawn even in fresh water. The eggs will not hatch. The eggs need salt water to hatch. So you're killing embryos, but you're not killing snails. The snails will survive in fresh water without any trouble at all.
Right.
Try 1 or 2. I think you'll be pleased. Yeah, Sharpie's saying I think neurites live forever.
Well, some of the information I got out there, they said they only lived for maybe 2 years when I originally started looking into them. But I swear I have some that lived a lot longer than that.
Yeah. Emily's saying Florida game wardens don't mess around out there. They don't. We had some in here yesterday. FWC was in yesterday on a complaint about our birds. And there was nothing wrong. They took pictures. They were happy. They were satisfied. There was not a problem at all.
No. Langan says they. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I was just going to say, Langan says they've never heard of rabbit snails.
Well, they're not common.
Yeah.
They're a big cone snail, about a 2 to 3 inch cone snail. Very heavy snail.
Yes, they are. I've never kept them, but I've seen them. For sale in stores. But you're right. Most stores don't have many for sale either.
Little hard to come by. Thomas.
Good morning.
Thomas just walked in. Hello.
Good morning, Thomas.
Good morning. Did you notice your African cichlid tank, the lights aren't working?
I noticed.
Is it all right if I switch it out for LEDs?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Pull the whole balance down.
Yeah, just pull the whole thing out.
I think I'm going to do 1 T8 across the back because I have, or whatever I have a salvage one back there. And then I'm going to do like 2 or 3 LEDs. So
That's fine.
yeah, those
Okay.
I'm also going to put some more plants in there when I do it too.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull them out of. Try to get some of those bigger leaf plants. I don't remember where we've got
We
them.
got the hydros, we got the temple plants, and I was going to do some valve too, if that's okay.
Yeah, great. Okay. Amber, hello, Amber.
Emily Stevens says, "Wow, Joey, I went to Petco yesterday just to look at all the goldfish." Yeah,
Funny.
see, they're cool fish that people don't give them a lot of credit, you know.
Indeed, they are.
And of course, I keep even more unpopular kind, the single tail, you know.
You bet. Somebody's having a heater problem. Where did that go?
Father fish.
Yes.
Do rabbit snails have live babies?
I don't know.
I just thought of that. I was like, do they, because what is it? The
Yeah, I don't know.
shore
They may
one or
well.
the one for the ponds, they have live babies. Yeah, I don't know. I never kept them. Sorry, that question just
Funny.
popped into my head.
Langan and Animals is saying at first, I thought by rabbit snails you meant pet snails that breed like rabbits. Funny.
Yeah. Oh, mainly that is the same. When they move, they're going to heat the room. A lot of people do that instead of
yeah, that's right. I have a friend who does coral, and he ACs his room. He has double AC systems in his garage, and also he uses a double RO system for the water for his saltwater.
Yeah.
So he's down at 72, dependably in his saltwater fish room.
Well, so you're having the opposite problem down there, where we have to worry about heating our area for many months out of the year. You guys have to figure out how to keep it cool.
Yeah, exactly. Tree 77, newbie to the hobby. My 3-month-old 40-gallon tank. Parameters are excellent, whatever that means. Plants are growing but are covered in diatoms. Well, now, I guess tree 77. We need to know how your tank is set up.
Right. A little more information.
Yeah, we need to know what your substrate is, whether you're overfeeding, which is a distinct possibility. If you've got gravel in your tank and you're overfeeding, diatoms are your best friend because they are consuming an excessive amount of waste.
Oh. I'm just reading Amber's, I think, trying to leave. She's leaving a couple nice statements, Father. And yes, if you could give us
Pandagaris.
like around 9:46, I think. And yes, if you could give us a little more information, Father Fish can answer your question a little bit better.
Big City Bettas, always willing to share information with a healthy dose of sass. Grateful for this stream. It's been a wonderful distraction from a crappy year. Love you all. You too, Big City. Delighted to have you with us.
Yes. Well, she left a bunch of comments. I think that was the bottom. I don't know. She's got a bunch in there that I think are all related.
Yeah.
Amber, she's on it. Thank you, Amber. Love you.
Oh.
Let's see. I'm scrolling.
Yeah, Big City. This year's been a rough year for many, including myself. Between QT and chemo radiation, I've had some rough days. This stream, and the community within it has been a daily blessing. Amen to that. A place to hang out every day and chat with friends and make new ones. Nerding out over the hobby I love so much.
Well,
Love to thank everyone who makes it such a lovely space. The ladies on panel for being lovely and so attentive with the chat, and of course, Father Fish for being a fountain of knowledge, always willing to share information with a healthy dose of sass. Aha, good. She was nailing me, not herself.
yeah.
Good
I
for
was gonna
you.
say that's directed at you. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Grateful for this stream. It's been a wonderful distraction from a crappy year. Thank you, dear heart. I do appreciate you. Very, very kind of you. And our prayers are with you every day.
Absolutely. And thank you, Amber. And
Yeah,
Amber,
Bertha does the job right, but that's okay. We got it. We got it all.
and Amber adds a lot to the chat. She always,
You
coming in
betcha.
and
You
answering
betcha.
questions and helping people. So appreciate it. And
I'll
anybody
leave.
else who's had a rough year and been hanging out with us.
God knows, right? Yeah, Lee's had a rough year. A lot of people have had a rough year. It's been
I
a
think
rough
there's
year.
many people. Not everybody shares, and you don't need to. But a lot
Right,
of people come
absolutely. Yeah, Mary's had a
here.
rough
She
year.
said, "Yeah, for the community, for the support, just a break to get away from your life if it's not great today.
Amen.
You just hang out for a while."
Okay,
awesome.
here's tree 77 back.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sand substrate, mostly gourami, and a Bolivian ran with 5 pandacories. Said, don't believe I'm overfeeding. I do feed twice a day. You are overfeeding. You do not need to feed twice a day. I don't care how little you're putting in. How deep is the sand bed is the other question. And try not, you got a gourami, a Bolivian, 5 pandas. So you're feeding the gourami and the Bolivian. You're feeding 2 fish. The pandas are eating from the bottom. They're eating waste and whatever's in the sand. You're not feeding the pandas. You're feeding mostly gourami and a Bolivian. Mostly. So there probably are some other fish there. I would stop feeding for at least a week and keep an eye and see what's going on. The gourami and Bolivian are larger fish. They're not little tiny fish, so it's harder for the tank to create food for them. The Bolivian will eat algae. The gourami will pick at it as well. So the tank can provide a certain amount of food for them. Try not feeding at all and see if the gourami and the Bolivian ram will go after uh, that that algae that's growing. They probably will. Yeah.
I was saying mainly Bettas is backing you up with their testimonial at 9:52, right on the same line as what you're talking about. Do you see it?
I was definitely overfeeding. Yeah, until I watched Father Fish. Since I cut back, I've had a lot less issues. it's hard. Here's the rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is that when a fish eats food, I'm not talking about big 3 foot long fish. I'm talking about little tiny fish. When a fish eats food, it processes about 10% of that food. Might go up to 15%. It has a very short alimentary canal, as you can imagine. So it goes in, processes, and comes out, generally in about 2 hours. So by the time a fish eats, 2 hours later, it has vacated what it ate. It or other fish then re-eat that waste because it contains nutrition still and is in fact more nutritious by virtue of being partially digested. So that gets eaten again. And this time, 25 to 30% is digested. It gets eaten again 3 times, 4 times, maybe 5 times. That same food is eaten. So that same food is providing 5 meals. You're providing by feeding twice a day, you're providing 10 meals a day. That's probably more food than the fish can legitimately eat. And so a lot of it is laying on the bottom, being attacked by bacteria, and creating excess nitrates, which are causing algae blooms. A hungry fish is a healthy fish. A fish that is not hungry is sick. You cannot feed a fish so much that it will not be hungry anymore. If you do, you've created a condition in which that fish could very well become sick. By overfeeding your fish, what I mean by that is, do not feed your fish until they are no longer looking for food. That is overfeeding. That is substantial overfeeding. You want to feed a tiny bit, let them eat it up. My rule of thumb is not as much as they can eat in a minute or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. My rule of thumb is as much as they can eat instantly in the first 5 seconds. Whatever they're eating immediately within 5 or 10 seconds is all you need to put in there. A day, or every other day. If it's a very tiny fish, once a week, once a month. Lee kept his fish going, and these were live bearers, for 6 months with no food at all except for the worms he gave his frogs and their waste, in addition to all of the nutrition that the tank was naturally creating, provided nutrition for his fish. A balanced tank will feed small fish. It simply will. That's part of what being balanced means. It means every living thing in that chain gets its needs met, because every living thing in that chain is needful to the next thing in that chain. They're links in a chain. You break one link and the chain is broken. So long as they're all linked together, they're all supporting each other. Think in those terms and you'll begin to really get a handle on what it means to have a balanced tank and what it means to feed your fish. You're not just feeding the fish, you're feeding the entire tank and every living thing in it. But you only need to do a tiny amount for that to make the cycle. What do you suggest to add nutrients to
That's what I was just going to say. That's the next question. Yeah.
a 2-year-old? What does dieted mean, James? Dirted. I get it.
Yeah, dirted.
What do you suggest to add nutrients to a 2-year-old dirted tank? If the tank is showing obvious lack of nutrition, which it should not be, but if it is, you can freeze ice cubes of soil or of supplements and jam them down to the bottom of the tank. You can also do like Osmocote or plant tabs or something else like that. Dead fish work really well. You can chop up small pieces of fish or shrimp and stick them down deep into the soil. They will create nutrition and they break down pretty quickly. That actually works pretty well. Just make sure you get it down below the sand. If you got a sand cap over your dirt, get it down to the bottom of the dirt where it'll break down without affecting the water column. Any number of things like that you can do to add nutrition. After 2 years, there should be a cycling going on. You should be having a natural cycle. Try adding a little bit, not a lot, a tiny amount, and wait a couple of weeks and see if you see a difference. If your plants are struggling, that may be the problem. Otherwise, after 2 years, that substrate should be cycling, and the detritus and waste from 2 years ago should be down in it, working through it and coming back up through the plants. Sharpie managed to start a new job the day before lockdown started. Huh. 9 months sat at home self-isolating, and then went back to work when everybody else was isolated.
You have
Do you feed small amounts when you feed twice? Lang of this asking tree. Yeah, absolutely right, Lang.
well, you've got a new person watching from, I think they said India, that they were a big fan, Sean.
Langan, let's see.
Yeah, and Langan, thank you for your super chat.
Yeah, there. I'm looking for it. There it is.
Oh yeah, it's at 10 o'clock. It's a big fan from India. Well, welcome.
Thank you, Langan, very, very much. Welcome to the Hobby Tree 77. Don't forget to like the stream, friends. Thank you so much for being here for me this year, Fish Fam. You betcha. You betcha.
Yes, that's true. Everybody hit the thumbs up if you can, please.
Here's another person from India, Shaikh Rajani.
That's what I was saying. You've got a new fan from India.
Father, what's the best floating plant for gippies? Oh, golly.
For guppies.
For gippies.
Well, we all have those types.
Is that the way you say guppy in
Yeah, maybe.
funny.
But we know what you mean.
Guppy grass. Guppy, if you can get it, guppy grass is terrific. It's really perfect. I like rickia really well because it forms a kind of mat that the babies can hide in. Little hard to get. You could always do duckweed or one of the other floating leaf plants. I prefer guppy grass for guppies. It'll fill the tank and just provide a really nice protective environment for babies. Guppy grass galore.
Yeah, guppy grass.
Sorry to hear some have had a bad year. This year I got to work from home and love it. The extra time got me started in the fish hobby. Then I got engaged. You guys really helped me learn a lot. Delighted to have you here, Guppy Grass. That's a great story. A lot of people have done that. This has been good for a lot of people who have found new ways of supporting their families. Regina, spelling mistakes. Thanks for suggesting. We were teaching say, well, I do it all the time.
I was gonna say I do it every day in the chat.
I am the master of spelling errors. Yeah, not at all. Not at all. It was just kind of cute calling it Kippy. That's all.
Yes. But we all do it. I do it, like I said, every day.
Yeah, Apple autocorrect does not like dirted. Yeah.
Okay, so wait a minute. Guppy Grass Galore guy says they changed their name. So what was it before? I'm just curious because I was thinking I've never seen that name myself. But
Tree 77 has an inch of sand. Okay. Tree 77. I want you to add another inch of sand. You need 2 inches of sand. It really needs to be more than that, but add at least
Oh, okay.
1 more inch of sand.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Yeah, he just loves Dad Sand. I mean, that should be a sticker on his head. Just
Add an inch of sand, right? We need Lee's sand cap. Cap it with an inch of sand. Lee's sand cap. Except you need 2 inches. You need 2 inches as an absolute minimum, and it should be more. It should be 3, but if you will do 2, you will start seeing a major difference in your tank. It's still not really deep enough to do the kind of thing it needs to do.
Okay, so Guppy Grass Galore guy is Nicholas. Okay. I'll try to remember that, Nicholas.
Nicholas, okay.
Yeah.
And 377, we're going to give Tree a moderator. Give him a wrench. Turn 377.
Well, give
blue.
I don't know how you pronounce it, SHOAL or whatever. Give them a wrench too then if you're passing wrenches out. It's just a big happy family, and they've been watching you.
Absolutely.
They've been watching you, so.
Right. Shaikh, you are now blue.
Say something and you'll see that you're blue.
Right.
Is there anybody else in here that we've missed that could use a wrench?
James Handy talking about his BBS hatchery. Mine is a boot. Have you seen mine?
Mine's running right now, and I need to.
Oh, look at this! Wow, look at this! Isn't that's impressive?
That is impressive. So you need
Good job.
You need a lot of BBS every day. Wow.
5 2 liters. Wow, that's feeding a lot of shrimp.
That's a lot.
That's a good hatching.
That's
nice.
Awesome.
Very nice.
I wonder, how many hours in between each one's ready, or do you just all ready at the same time?
He's eating angels. Look at the baby angels.
Yeah, awesome.
Are they angels? They're discus.
Are they discus?
They're discus. Yeah,
discus.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the mommy and daddy.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow. Is that cool or what?
It is.
How impressive. Oh, my word. Look at this with babies.
Yep.
Now, see the babies? They're attached to the wall.
Yep.
And they've hatched. They've hatched, but they have a little thing on their head that allows them to attach. So what is he doing here now?
No, but we're going to see.
This is he's building a rack. Oh, he's building. Yeah, absolutely. Building his hatchery rack. Cool. Nice. Look at that.
Can you build one for me too? No, I don't need that many shrimp.
Really, way cool.
But I bet you could sell them. Cool. I bet you could sell them.
Oh, those are smaller. I thought they were like 2 liter bottles.
So they're like a 12.
They're 16 like ounce. Drinking bottles. Yeah,
but that's neat. Cool though. Really cool.
You bet. Cuts off the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And then he's got screw-on valves. There they are.
Yep.
That's
you get those maybe from like Gemco or something.
I think they are available online. Pretty cool.
It is.
Got an air pump, hose, and a valve system. Wow. That's it, guys. Very neat.
It's awesome.
Pretty impressive. I'm going to let people go back and watch the rest of this. That is
if you could put your link into the chat for that, I'm sure people would love to watch
it's here. He's got it.
Oh, okay.
That's how I got to it.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it. Sorry. I was like, I'm sure you have a lot of people watching that.
Nice. Well done.
I can't, Bogey. He's coming crawling in my lap, but he looks my hand the whole time, and I can't chat. Okay.
Well, what happened here?
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I lost.
You lost what? You lost what?
Oh, I lost my YouTube stream.
Oh,
There it is. It's back. I
kind of an
got it.
important thing. Kind of important.
Let's see. Hillbilly is planning Father Fish 75-gallon dirted
Nice.
Tennessee native fish aquarium.
Ooh,
Wow.
that should be cool.
Dynamite. There are some incredible Tennessee natives, including sticklebacks. You've got sticklebacks up there in fresh water, which would be a
Yep.
fabulous fish to be able to do in your native tank.
And what's the other ones? They've got like
Oh,
darters.
Hillbilly's saying that was an old video from the King of DIY. All right.
Okay, it's still cool.
Nice.
I
Took
don't know
5
any other
minutes to
fish,
make.
but
That is a great hatchery.
yeah.
Brandon is saying the problem with that method
Yeah.
is you have to empty the whole bottle at one time or the eggs collect in the tomb and you end up wasting a lot. Yes, absolutely. There is a way around that, however. If you, instead of buying regular brine shrimp, if you will buy decapsulated hatching brine shrimp, you will not have the shell to contend with. It is not more expensive. In fact, it's a little cheaper to do that just because of the way they are sold. From Brine Shrimp Direct, somebody posts the link. Brine Shrimp Direct sells decapsulated in two forms. One is hatching, the other is non hatching. You can feed the non hatching to larger baby fish like Severums, Oscars, Angels, those kinds of things. Or you can buy the hatching decapsulated from fish that require live food, and there are lots of them that require live food.
Yes. And I.
Decapsulated, yes, it means that the shell is burned off of the egg, leaving the embryo and its membrane intact. And it's sold in a very heavy brine solution. So it's in stasis. You put a small amount of it in your saltwater hatchery, and it'll hatch out generally in 8 to 12 hours. And it's perfect. And you get 100% hatching with it, and do not have any waste of any significance at all.
You have another question. At 10:12, it says, Father, what is the use of driftwood?
Yeah, I saw that. Well, a number of things. Obviously, driftwood breaks down in the water, even if it's hard water. So it's releasing tannins and other uh, organic matter into the tank. If it's hardwood at a very slow rate, it also is a food source for a lot of fish, particularly many of the plecostomus require wood in their diet. Um, it can help to maintain a stable, lower pH. Uh, it creates a healthier organic uh, condition for plants. It just provides a lot of benefits.
And it's pretty. It's
And
pretty.
it's pretty, that's right.
And you decorate with it.
A boot rack
At the
brine
same time.
shrimp hatchery, you bet. I love it, Dan.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, that's why, for my hatchery, I just obviously hatch an amount that I'm going to use within 24 hours. So that works for me, but doesn't, some people like to do it differently.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways to do it. I
Absolutely.
did a video a while back um, when the fancy $50 hatchery came out,
Mm-hmm.
in which I got put some water in a boot, an old boot from a saltwater tank, and threw some eggs in it. No air, no nothing. Came back the next day and they hatched. So all of that was to do was to prove that it really doesn't matter what you put them in, so long as it's something that is convenient for you and easy to use and makes your life simpler. Then whatever it is, be creative and use it. Whether
Right.
it's an old boot or a drink juice bottle, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you said, whatever works.
Those are Chevy's discus. Wow, very very nice.
Is that what she said?
That's what yeah, Chevy Fish said they're Joey's discus.
Oh, they're the king of DIY's discus. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
In the
the other
yeah.
Joey, right?
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing time wise? Where are we?
No, I think we're about 10,
Yeah,
16.
yeah, we're kind of running out of gas here. We can run it down. Stay away from
Mafani wood.
Pawnee wood. Turned his water blood red. Um, yeah, the thing about all wood is it has to be aged. And that means that it has to be either thoroughly dried out, sun bleached to the point where there is no sap or organic, uh, uh, free organic matter in it at all, or it needs to be waterlogged to the same level, to the point where there's nothing left but the wood. All of the sap, all of the cellular structure is completely broken down. If it is not, then I have killed fish by putting wood in the tank that was not aged adequately. And it can create a really foul condition that just way too much organics. So you do want to be careful about that. If you're collecting wood from the wild, make sure it really is thoroughly dried out. You can tell by feeling it, holding it, whether it's out of the water or off the land. It's easy enough to tell whether it's thoroughly devoid of any cellular structure. Make sure of that before you put it in your tank. And if you're not sure, put it in a tub or a barrel or just let it lay outside in the sun for a couple of months. Um, it'll that's all it really takes to get it ready. I'd like to try to find wood that's been in the water or on the ground for at least a couple of years. And that's without a lot of dirt in it. So I try to rinse the dirt off as well. Generally speaking, wood that's been laying on the ground is going to be deteriorating in the dirt. So it's not nearly as desirable as water coming out of, wood coming out of a body of water. Fresh or salt water doesn't matter. If you can find wood that's in a creek, rinse it off good, and it's obviously been there a while. And a good way to tell is whether it has wormholes in it, whether it's being eaten away by little insects and wood borers and whatnot in the water column. Then go ahead and use that, rinse it out good. I would not bleach it because you really don't want to kill the organics, the living organisms, I should say, that are on it. They're going to be beneficial to your tank. Father Fish, did you do any adventure like saving fish from an aquarium shop closed for many years? That's interesting. Shay, no, I haven't, but that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like to find such a place.
But So you don't go do that, but you do take in fish that people bring you, right? When they're in
Oh,
bad
every day of
situations.
the week. Every day of the week. I have fish coming in every day. And I do store credit for them. Uh, Once in a rare while I'll pay cash, but it's really not much because so many of these fish I can get at wholesale, which is really substantially cheaper than the retail price. That's one of the things that's so hard for people to understand. The standard markup for tropical fish is substantially higher than the standard markup for a bag of potato chips. A bag of potato chips has a shelf life of about a year. A, s- uh, a live fish has a shelf life of about 30 days. If that fish is not sold in 30 days, it likely, unless they're in the kind of tanks that I maintain, but in most shops, if it's there more than 30 days, they're moving it out because it's not going to really survive in the kind of tanks that most shops need to be able to maintain in order to sell fish. The tank you see in most fish stores is not an example of the way you want to set your tank up in your home. A good fish store will have at least a few demo tanks showing how to set a tank up and what it could look like. But by and large, most shops have bare tanks with way too many fish in them and a lot of water moving through them, and they do a lot of maintenance in order to be able to keep those. And they typically don't feed or not very much. So, they're moving fish in and out. They're not trying to set up a home aquarium. They're trying to sell a lot of fish. But that's why the markup on fish is higher than it is for dry goods. They just don't hold up as well. If they get sick, you can lose the entire batch. They could come in dead, and generally wholesalers do not cover losses. Any number of things can happen. When somebody brings a dead fish back, we always honor it, even if it's not our fault. We try to help people figure out what caused the problem, and then we replace the fish. So that's two fish for $1, which reduces our profit margin by 50% or better. So, it's really a tight market selling any kind of livestock.
Mm-hmm. So you have a question from a new person, Mike. Stand by at 10:21. Almost
Jumbo Cypricromis.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any? Do you carry? He says, "Do you have any in the store? And do you have any tips?"
Let's see.
I ever had them.
Yeah, I'm gonna look them up here and just make sure we're talking about the same
About
thing.
the same thing, yeah.
Images. Oh, I thought so. I have not done well with Cypricromis. I've had them a few times. They're absolutely magnificent fish. I absolutely love them. I've never done well with them, so I really don't have any advice. I've had most of the other Tanganyika cichlids and have done pretty well with them, but the Cypricromis I have not. Mainly because I haven't had a good source. I do now, and I hope to be able to do something about that to be able to get more of these. And I mean, look at them; they're just
they're
and
beautiful.
they have a sheen that just shines.
Mm-hmm.
They're fluorescent fish, stunning fish.
They are
Very, very nice. Well, look at this. There's a mouthful of eggs. And there's a good example of the the size, the Burundi. That's like 3 to 4 inches. Beautiful, beautiful fish.
Yeah.
All right. Electric.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say maybe one more question,
sure.
and this is from Anton, and he says, "Hi, would you keep discus in a bare bottom tank or rather a dirty tank?"
It depends on what you're trying to do.
Right.
If you're looking to breed them, I would do bare bottom. Because it's going to allow you to do more substantial water changes more easily. If you're maintaining them for show, I would definitely put them in a dirted tank. The tank will be better balanced. It'll work a lot better, and it'll be healthier for the fish.
I would agree.
All righty.
So
Let's see if
okay,
we.
I think. I mean, I'm sure there's no end. The questions will keep coming.
Right.
Then they'll have to come back tomorrow to ask you the question. And I'm sure we
Absolutely.
missed some, and we apologize, but the best we can.
Right. Love you all. Nice to have you with us.
Hello, Mary. Mary, try and sort this one out. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you.
All right.
Let's talk about all the good
Thank you,
things
Mary.
and the bad
Thank you,
things
Chevy.
that make me.
Thank
Let's
you, all
talk
the
about
mods,
fish.
all the working mods.
Yeah, because we have a lot of mods.
A lot of mods. We have a house
Let's
full
talk
of
about
mods.
fish, baby.
And
Let's
a few
talk
of them are
about
working
you
mods.
and me.
Everybody's
Let's talk about all
welcome
the
to.
good things
Thank
and
you,
the bad
Joey.
things
Love you.
that can be.
Love all you
Let's talk
guys.
about
Love
fish.
everybody.
Appreciate you all.
Happy New Year.
Let's talk about fish.
Happy
Let's
New
talk
Year.
about fish.
Right.
Instrumental break.
Yeah, there she is. There she
No.
is.
I was typing Happy New Year, everyone,
Gotcha.
with a whole bunch of emojis.
Right.
We love our emojis.
Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish.
Bye, all.
Let's talk about fish. 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 Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish.
Yeah. Thank you all. Take care. Have a lovely day. See you in the morning. A great and glorious new year to everyone. Bye for now.